All right, guys, welcome back. If you're just joining us, we went for a 5 minute break just to let people join the meeting so nobody misses out on anything. So I think we've given enough time for persons to join in and they'll catch up with us. So first off, my name is Nonso right? And I'm a Microsoft certified Power BI data analyst and also a better Microsoft Student Ambassador. And basically, what I do is I educate and I tutor people with regards to data analytics too. So this is one program that I've created also to just teach people more about like SQL Server and the potentials of SQL Server for data analysis, specifically with regards to customer churn, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen so we can get right into it. So if you have any questions, you can either drop them in the Q&A or you can keep your questions at the end. I would give it time for you to like unmute your mic and ask any question you have. So let's get into it. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I'm screen sharing now. I just want you to confirm you can see my screen. Can you see the Microsoft SQL Server? You can use an emoji or anything just react. Okay, that's fine. All right. Let me minimize this and we can get started. All right. So I'm a slides person, but today I didn't come here with any slides because what I want us to do is to work on a project, right? The importance of you as a data analyst is you having your skill set. And how can you demonstrate such skill set? By working on projects. And we're going to get right into that today. So one of the important skills we know is Excel, Power BI, and SQL, right? And I've had a couple of classes on Power BI, but I feel like we need to have another one on SQL Server, particularly to talk about churn. Now, I think this is a very interesting topic because customers, or rather companies, might be complaining about losing out on revenue, right? And what you're trying to do is you're doing marketing campaigns, you're trying to get new customers. While that is good, you might want to also try to, retain the customers you already have. We're trying to go after more customers. There's this thing that people say your business will speak for you or will sell itself for you. So if you have good customers that are satisfied with your services, that are not leaving your company or not churning, those customers can sell your business for you. They can provide referrals. So this is why this project is a very important project that can apply in various industries. For this one, now we're working with telecom. So it can apply in banking. You could be losing customers to it's even very possible it's happening in Nigerian banks because when you think about Access Bank giving you their bank troubles, you're thinking of another bank, you're thinking of maybe OPA, which transactions are faster, right? So like these are like cases where customer churn applies to. So when you have a project such as this, it can sell to like different industry. You can sell it to the banking domain, you can sell it to supermarkets, you can sell it to virtually different industries. So let's get right into this problem or this project brief. Now that we understand the importance of actually like keeping our customers, right? So we are a data analyst consulting. We're either working for Maven Telecom Churn or we're consulting for Maven Telecom Churn. Maven Telecom's communications rather. Now, they provided us with the churn data for a fictional telecommunications company with about 7,043 customers. So we have information about customer demographics, we have information about location, services, and current status. current status being, is this customer still with us, or has this customer decided to leave us for one reason or the other? So we provided with a recommended analysis to kind of like craft our head around and try to provide insights on this. But it doesn't mean that we are limited to just this. As a data analyst, we can explore and we can generate more insights that we think will be helpful for this company. So now this is a data set gotten from Mavens. And while it's okay to see a data set and be like, okay, I want to work with this data set in Power BI and, create a dashboard that shows my insights and analysis, you could also get that data set and be like, you know what? I've been learning SQL for a while. Let me write out some queries and see if this thing that I normally would analyze with Power BI, let me write some queries to generate those insights with SQL. Let me show that skill set. So without wasting any more time, let's get to know our data set. So let's get to know our data sets. Okay. So we'll start with the data dictionary for one. Let's go to our data dictionary. Just close this so we can see that very well. All right. So we have the columns or the fields in our data sets, the customer ID, we have the customer's current age, we have the number of dependents, we have the number of referrals, right? Is this customer referring us to a friend or a family member? We have the tenure in months. How many months has this customer been with this company? We have the offer, which is like the last marketing offer that the customer accepted. We have let's go to the importance. Let's look at the important dates. Of course, we have internet service. We need to know about internet service. And we have contracts. What contract has this customer decided to? Month to month, 1 year, 2 year? What have they signed up for with us? Are they trying us out for month to month before they decide to change their contract? We have the monthly charge, which is how much they incur from using our services monthly. We have the total charges up to the current quarter, and just a bunch of other stuff that we'll get to explore. So having a good data dictionary will help you know exactly what your data fields mean, right? If they are not explanatory enough. So now we're going to go into SQL Server, which we're going to be using. So SQL Server is like Microsoft SQL variant. So different companies have their own SQL variants. So even if you want to use PostgreSQL, you can still, but Microsoft SQL Server is being used virtually, it's been integrated into a lot of areas, like Microsoft Fabric, for instance. You write SQL queries there. So that's why I feel like you might want to learn SQL Server. So let's move to SQL Server. Okay. All right. So now we're in SQL Server Management Studio, and you can see my screen, right? You can see we have the databases. We should have different databases in this. If you've worked with different databases, you see the ones you've probably just put on your SQL Server Management Studio. You should be able to see that. Now, once it comes to working with data in SQL Server, there are different ways you can work with, right? You want to have a database, so you could restore a database like this adventure works you can see here. You could get your database by writing some queries. What do I mean? Create table, insert into that table. You could do that as well to populate data in your database. You could also get in data from a CSV, like you could import data from a CSV, and that's what we're going to do today. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our database. So I'll just come over to database, right click, and that's as simple as it gets. You could just see a new database. And all you need to do is give it your database name. So I'll call this Maven Telecom. Right. And then you just click on OK. So that is your database already created for you. As you can see here, Maven Telecoms. So this is Maven Telecom database we're going to be working with. So now if you come over to your tables here, you probably notice you don't have any tables in this database yet, which is what we're going to be bringing in now. So how do we go about this? How do we go about bringing our data that is downloaded from like maybe an analytics website, which is the CSV file? How do we get this in here? So you just right click over here, right? Right click on your database, just the right click, then you go to your task and you go to import data. We want to bring in our data in. So it makes sense. We go to task, then we go to import data. So once we go to that, we get this pop-up, which is you just need to click on next. And the very first thing you get is to choose your data source, right? So your data source here you're going to be choosing is going to be a flat file source, which is our CSV files. So we'll choose a flat file source, and then this will come up for us to specify the file path. So all we need to do is browse to where we have that file in our system. So if you browse to that, currently I think this is filtering for .txt files. So let's switch that. Yes. So now I can just select my telecom customer action and click on open. So that is populated in here. Let's go to next. Now, next, you can just preview your rows of data. So this is how our data is looking like, right? That's okay. That's fine. Let's go to the next stage. Now, a destination. Now, your destination, you want to select the Microsoft OLEDB provider for SQL Server. So make sure you select this for your destination, and then it's just going to use your Windows authentication, and then that's fine. You click on next. So once you do that, that should come up. All right. So now at this stage, you might just want to click on next, or you might want to edit mappings. This is something I want to do sometimes. So once you come to your mappings, you start to see your source, which is where we get the data from, and the destination, which is where we want to like store it in this database. Please, if you're just coming in, you can kindly please mute yourself. We'll have time for a Q&A when you can mute. Thank you. All right. So, right, we're in source and we have our destination and we have the type. So we have different data types. So now you might want to, yes?
Can you, sorry,
Yes, I
check
can.
the Q&A. The Q&A was not set up, so I don't.
All right. So if the Q&A is currently not set up, like you're saying from your end, what you can do is you can note down your question in a book or something so you don't forget. And then once we get to the Q&A time, you can raise your hand to request, and then I'll pull you up so you can ask your question then. Is that fine? Can you still hear me?
Okay.
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 Okay. All right, that's fine. All right. Okay. So I don't know, before I move further, let me see if am I moving too fast? Do I need to slow down with my words? You can drop that in the chat. Let me just check that real quick. Okay, so I said in case you want me to like slow down my words, you can type that now in the chat and let me know. Or if that's fine, I'll just continue, not to waste time. I'll just give that 10 seconds and I'll continue. All right. So I think that's fine and I can go on. All right. So let me minimize this, minimized, and we can continue. Oh, I think we have a hand raised. If you have a question, we can address that at the end. All right. So going on, for the age now, you can see we have age as a variable character. So we could want to switch this in numerical a numerical type, a numerical data type, so we can perform calculations. If we choose to work with it as a VACA, we need to do something else when we write our queries. We need to cast it as a different data type. And one thing I want us to do as I'm teaching you, I think I would also open WSQL so you can see like what these functions mean as I use them. So, but for now, what I'm just doing is changing type to what makes sense. Like age, I just want it to be, you could pick a numeric, you could pick integer, right? I'm just going to just simplify that and just make it a numeric. Number of dependents, I'm just going to use a numeric as well. Let me just use a numeric. And what else? What else? Let's go down. We see number of referrals. So referrals should be, let's go for a numeric as well. Tenure in months. This is how many months has this customer spent with us. Let's switch that to numeric as well. What else? I'm not going to switch much things, just what I feel like would be important for my analysis. So let's go to the charges. Yeah, monthly charges. Now, let's look at monthly charge. Let's switch monthly charge to decimals, because you can have decimals in charges here. So let's switch total charges as well to decimal. Total refunds to decimal as well. So decimal. Let's just look at decimals. Say anything else? Total revenue. Let's just switch total revenue with decimals. Decimals. Yeah. So once we're done with this, we just click on OK. And this is going to create this table called dbo.telecom customer churn. And we're just saying next, right? And then next as well. And we should be able to run this. So click on finish and wait for that to execute. So as this is done, you get the 7,403 rows transferred, which is rhyming with what we have, 743 customers according to like our brief. Though generally you might not know the number of customers. It might be you getting the number of customers from your database yourself. So let's just close this then. So one thing you should notice is, since we have that here, that should come up here. Let's click on this and let's click refresh. Let's go to our tables. So now we have dbo.telecom customer churn in. So we've gone through our case study, right? And now we've brought in the data that we want to work with into our database. We've created a database, brought in the data. The next step is to explore your data first, right? We've done a little bit of that, looking at the data dictionary in Excel, but we've not seen the data itself. So the simple thing you might want to do is just right click and select up to 1,000 rows. So once you see top 1,000 rows, you get to see about the columns, and you get to like see your data. You see the customer ID, which is the unique identifier. You see the city, you see a zip code, latitude, longitude. You see offers, right? We see offers over here. What offers do we have? We see internet service. We see the internet type. Are they using cable, fiber optic, or DSL? Basically, we get to see these features now. So this is just you to preview your data, and you can see this here. So in here you have different tabs that can help you work with data. You also have your new SQL query, which is what we'll be using. I don't know if they're beginners here. If they are a bit beginner, you know that let me just highlight that in this part you're seeing your database here, while here you're seeing like your queries, and this is just properties of your queries basically. So we write our queries here and we get our results here. So now that we've gotten our data in and we've seen the data, we want to go ahead and start to explore this data exploration and data analysis. So we could start with a new SQL query. for instance, and say we already know the customers, right? So one thing we want to do when we work with data, which tend to want to do a bit of data cleaning, right? What do we mean by data cleaning? We mean eliminating duplicates. You don't want to account for a record twice, which will affect your numbers. And numbers are a critical thing you don't want to like mess with. So you want to make sure, okay, that is done well. But what I want to highlight here is if you're working in a well-structured data team, there are processes to this. You have your data engineering that are pulling in this data from maybe different lake houses, and they are basically massaging the data and making it clean for you. So once it's getting to a database that you can query it as a data analyst, you shouldn't necessarily be seeing duplicates. You shouldn't necessarily, but it doesn't mean as a data analyst, you shouldn't know how to deal with duplicates when that arise. So this brings up to what we want to do first. So I'm just going to write a comment to, this is our Maven, let's see, Maven Telecom Churn analysis, right? So that's okay. So, right. So the very first thing we want to do is, let's check for duplicates. So check for duplicates. Let's just have that. So now, we need to, whenever you want to do something, you think about the logic behind it. Okay, what logic are you using to pick a duplicate? There has to be something that tells you that this thing is repeating more than once. It could be that you need to have a unique customer ID in your data. It could be that you need to make sure that across all the rows, it's not repeating itself, right? So for this case, our unique identifier should be our customer ID. So we don't want a customer ID being represented more than once, right? So basic SQL query starts with a select from, where, order by, so, right? So let's just start with, let's start with what table are we getting this from? So let me just do a select, then let's go to our table from. So we want to pull in information from this Maven Telecoms, this, so you can just click on it and drag it over. I don't really like doing the whole process of typing. If I can drag and drop, I will drag and drop. Then now we want to select our customer ID, right? So customer should have customer ID, right? So that's all. So you can hit your tab. So that's in. And then basically now, how do we identify duplicates now? If a customer ID, like if the number of times it's appearing is more than once, right? That indicates that it's a duplicate, right? So now what I'm going to do is select customer ID and count of the occurrence, like count of how many we have there. So when you use star or the asterisk, right, it's just used to count occurrences. So once you do this, anytime you use like an aggregate function, you want to probably alias, right? So this will be count as, let's just say occurrences, right? And now, if you notice, anytime I do, okay, whenever you use an aggregate function, always remember you need to have a group by, right? Just always remember there has to be a group by function with it. It's just basic. And you're grouping by your customer ID, of course, to produce this result, right? You're grouping by everything not being aggregated. Basically, that's just simple logic. And then what we're trying to do is we want to filter, we want to provide those duplicates, we want to see those duplicates. And those duplicates is when our customer ID, right? Or when actually the counts that we're having of the occurrences, right, is greater than 1. Now, what do I use to filter? Now, this comes, do I use a where? Now, you use a where and you can use an having function. This is an having or a where to filter. Now, I'm going to use the having, right? Because I'm using an aggregate. So because I'm using an aggregate function, I'm using an having count greater than 1. And then you could end with a semicolon, right? And then you run that query. let's see, from having group by customer ID. So as you can see now, we've produced like basically a blank result, which indicates to us that we do not have any duplicates or any instances where customer ID is repeating itself more than once. So that's just the basic, basic check we just wanted to do. So we're not giving any wrong numbers or anything skewed, right? And this also makes sense. How do I even confirm? This also makes sense if you do a count and you do a distinct count of customer ID. Now, if you do a distinct count, you're asking for, if you do a distinct, you're getting unique values. If you do a count, you're just counting the values. So if you do a distinct and you do a count and you have the same results, basically it means there is no duplicate in that column. So that could be another way for us to check, right? What do I mean by that? Let's just do a select from group by no, let's just do select from what table. Let me just pick my table in and let me select count of, I want to get the count of the customer ID. I'm just Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, just copying that. Just need to remove this. So then you select what you want to run and you execute that. So we have 7043 customers. So once I put in a distinct here, this should produce the same result. Distinct. Let me just wrap that in again. And let's run that. Execute. You get the same. So that's what I'm just saying, that it's unique value. It's fine, and we can move on to what we want to look at. So let's go to our brief. Let's use the brief as a guide. Looking at our brief now, we want to know, okay, let's take it one step at a time. How many customers joined the company during the last quarter? This is a question. Let's go here. How many customers joined the company during the last quarter? Let's just copy that. Can I? Say PDF. How many customers joined the company during the last quarter? Okay. How many customers joined the company during the last quarter? All right. Let's make this in caps. Okay. So now we first think about the logic, right? What do we need? We're trying to get the count of customers that joined the company during the last quarter, right? So first off, where is the last quarter? Where does the last quarter start from? Like, what is the start of the last quarter, right? We're currently we pick the context that, okay, as of now, where does the last quarter start? Meaning, what date is the last quarter starting from? We need to know that first. So if we know that date, then we can now find, okay, do we have in our data what date the customer joined us? So if we know what date the customer joined us and we know what is the start of the last quarter, we can now compare the two and see, did this customer actually join before this date? So we break it down like that. So the very first thing I want to do is get the last quarter. So if I'm picking it like something that they want to probably reuse, I would be writing, let's do this. Let's do a select, right? Let's get our last quarter from today. So from today, I want to go back, to 3 days. Sorry, I want to go back to 3 months because we are dealing with a quarter, right? So how do I get today's date first? And how do I go back 3 months, right? So this is where it brings you to get date function. So what I want to do is, let's see, get dates. So let's look at the get date function now. So once you select this and run this, so we'll be doing it step by step, you get this, the date, which is the current date, right? So now I want to, from our current date, I want to go back 3 months to get to the start of the last quarter. So if I want to go back 3 months, there is a function for that as well, which is called a function to add to a date or to subtract from a date. That's called like your date add. So date add accepts 3 arguments, right? There's a comma and a second comma. So it accepts the first argument, the second argument, and the third argument. So the first argument is going to be your period in concern. Now we're concerned with months, right? We want to go back 3 months, right? And we're concerned with what is actually the date that we're adding to or subtracting from. Is this get date? So I'll just copy this get date, Ctrl C. Let me just do Ctrl X and place that here, Ctrl V. So even if you see data, it's actually doing the same thing as adding or subtracting. It just depends on what you're writing in there. So if I do a 3, it's going to take it 3 months forward, but I want to take it 3 months backward, so switch to -3. So this is let's see. Let's run this. This is 2024-09-21, 2024-09. This is 2024-06-21. So we move back three months, right? So now I've gotten the start of last quarter using the current time as my context now. So I might want to store this temporary. So I can store this with what we call a common table expression, a CTE. So what I just need to do is use this function, which is called wait, and then what I want to store it as, kind of like the temporary, maybe just call it like the temporary table name. So let's say wait, last quarter, then as I'm selecting from this. Let me just do a tab here and make this with last quarter as this, right? I want to select this. Now, once I select this, I want this to have a name. Now, I'm going to alias that to be what? I'm trying to get the start, right? So that should be the start. Let me just use a quote. That should be the start of the last quarter, right? Start of last quarter. Let's just use this, right? That could work. And then this is okay. All right. So now we've solved one part of the logic, right? We've gotten the start of the last quarter. So what else do we need now? We need when the customer joined. So let's go to check our the first query did, which is just to see. So do we have when the customer joined? So if you take a look, do we have a customer join date or anything like that? This is where you need to explore, but for this, since I've already taken a look at the data, I've been able to figure out that it's tenure in months we have. So we don't have when the customer joined us, but we have how long they've been with us. So we have this tenure in months. So with this tenure in months and with what we have as our current date, we can know when the customer joined. Does that make sense? If you say you've been working in this company, you're telling me in this month, September, I've been working with this company for 10 months now in September. I can easily just do my maths back and say September, let me go back 10 months. When did you join this company? So that's what we're going to use as well. And how can we go back? We're also going to use the date add. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let's use our date add to get when the customer joined again. So date add month, right? We're using months because that tenure is tenure in months. We're going back how many months? We don't know. We're going back the tenure in months. So I'll do a minus, then the tenure in months. I'll type that in. Tenure, or I could come here and go to my columns, and I should be able to find tenure in months and just drag that tenure in months. This tenure in months over here. Just come and find your way here. Right. Then I would give the date I want to go back from. Get date. Yeah, that's fine. So what table am I getting this from? Let me just put my table first. So this, let me just put this in here. Yeah, that's fine. So this is going to get me when the customer joined, right? But let's go back to our question again. How many customers joined the company during the last quarter? We don't need when the customer joined. We need a count, right? So let's make that a count. How many? We're counting how many customers during the last quarter. So if I know that this is my what date the customer joined date, right? So let me just put this here, join date. All I need to do is find a way to compare or to filter for where a customer's join date is greater, right? Or equals to this date of last quarter. How many customers joined the company during the last quarter? This is the join date. If they join during that beginning of last quarter or after, that would work. So all I need to do is to do a filter for that. So now I'll just do, so this should be a filter. This should help me filter for where this join date is greater than or equals to this start of last quarter. That's all I need. So I'm going to just do a control. Let me just do control X here and just do where we want to filter for where this, right, is greater than or equals to what we have here. I'm now going to be fetching from this table. Sorry, not a table per se, but yeah, just going to fetch from this. But now you see, okay. So I could just select from it instead. This is not going to work. So all I'm just going to do now is where this is greater than, let me put this in the next line for now. Where this is greater than, let me select the result from there. I'm going to select this table, right? Or this, right? From, let me just do from this last quarter. Yeah, select from this table where this. That's fine. Start of last quarter is this. Let's see what we get when we run that. I don't like saying that. Okay, with this as this, that's fine. We have a no column name. So we probably want to alias what we are counting as customers. Let's just alias that as customers joined the company during, okay, customers joined last quarter. Let's just use customer joined last quarter. So if we run this now, we should be able to have that in the column name. So we have 1,051 customers that joined last quarter. So what we had to use here, we had to understand the logic, we had to use ACT, and we had to make use of the date add function. So out of 7053 or 7043 customers, we have the customers that joined during the last quarter to be just 1051. So let's see if you guys can still hear me. Okay, I think that's fine. All right. So we've gotten this, the customers that joined last quarter. Let's see what we can achieve more. Let's think more. Okay. We've gone through this. Let's look at what is the customer profile for a customer that joined and stayed. Okay, you want to see information about that to know if you could identify churners. Okay, come back to this. Let's look at this first. What seem to be the key drivers of customer churn? Let's look at that. Let's look at the what we have in our data set that can indicate if a customer is going to churn, basically. It's a SQL Server. Key drivers of churn. Right? What do we have in this data set that indicates churning? So we have customer services. This just shows the customer's churn, and we have the reasons why. So we want to understand what seems to be the key driver for churn. What is that reason why people are churning? Is it more of competitor, or are they really dissatisfied with our product? So let's start with that first. What is the key driver, right? Or something like that. What are the key drivers? That should be R. What are the key drivers for churn? So what are the key drivers for churn? So I want to see the churn category and the churn reason. I want to see how many customers selected a competitor for as a reason to churn, right? So I want to see that. Let's how do we go about that? Okay, so we know we are still getting from. Let's write out from what table? From the same table. Then what do we want to select from this table? We want to select the churn. We're just going to do a drag and a drop. We want to select the churn category. We just place that. What else do you want to select? You want to select the churn reason. I want to see, apart from just category, more about the reasons too, right? I want to see the counts, right? The count of the occurrence. I want to see which one is more prevalent. Is dissatisfaction a more prevalent reasons? Could it be that our services are below par? Is that why people are leaving us? So let me just count these as let's see, customers, right? Number of customers, right? Let me just see customers, right? Okay. So now I want to see, let's filter for only churns, right? Where churn is in this customer status, where customer status is equals to churn, right? I think it was churned. Yes. So now if you think, right, I could be like, oh, this is just a basic query, so I'm about done. And then you get an error that will just tell you that, oh, you've used an aggregator here, be it count, sum, you just need to group by these categories, because actually that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to count for what? For each category and each reason. So you have to obviously group by that, right? So group by this. And then what else do you need to do? We want to see which one is much more prevalent, right? So we should order that. We should do that. We should order by this. Let's order by this. And let's just use a semicolon. I just like to use a semicolon to just indicate that I'm done with a kind of like a query or SQL statement. So I'm just going to execute this now. So this is being ordered the wrong way, ascending order. I want this to be in descending order. I want to see the ones that are actually, okay, see this one, order deceased. See, I want to see things that are very important to me. If a customer is deceased, obviously I'm concerned about my customers, but I can't really do anything to get that customer or stop that customer from leaving if they are going to not be alive. So let me just execute this. So now it's in descending order. So now I can see looks like competitors are actually the scary people pouching my customers. And also it looks like I have some salesperson or support persons that are making these people be like, no, I'm not using Maven's Telecom. How this person. So you need to look at competitors had better devices or had made better offers. Looks like this is what we need to start looking at, first of all. So let's look at for checking these churn categories, there are like different churn categories, like, right? You can see customer, you can see competitors, you can see attitude and price. Thank God price too high doesn't really rank as much. It seems more like our competitors have this, but let's still like understand our churn customers better. Let's understand if these customers have like something that can tell us, right? So let's see, okay, customers are churning now. Let me just go here. Let's go to here to see these things. We have different things, right? We have where's that? I think we should have, yeah, we have internet type. We want to see maybe, okay, internet type, we should have a contract, right? We have a contract. So we saw competitor made better offer, right? Could it be that they have a better monthly plan or something? So let's see if people that have stayed with us long are still with are churning, or people that just tried our services or probably just in our services month to month, are they the ones churning? We want to look at the contract type for churners. We want to look at different categories, internet services. We want to look at things that we think might cost you to churn. For me, if I try a service, I might want to start with a monthly plan, and then if it doesn't cut it for me, I'm out. Or if the internet type is not good, do you get? If I'm using this internet type and it doesn't cut it, if there are just certain things that you try to like see it from the business point of view, see it from your client, and see it from the person using it. So now let's see contract. What contracts, right? I think what contracts are shown as on. Okay, this is in caps. Okay, let's just move. It's just a comment for now. So let's see. First off, we want to see for churn alone, right? So we're going to start with our normal from the table. Let's bring it from this table. Right? I only want to see for churned customers. So we need to filter. So we have a where coming in, right? Where let's just copy this and paste that. What contract are churners on? So we want to see the contract, right? So let's select contract. We have that yet. All right. So, and let's see the count of customers, the count of churners that are on this contract, on the different contract types, right? We do a count star, we would do a group by of this, and we need to do an order of that, right? So let's do from where group by of this and order by let's call this as let's just use the same thing we've been using. Let's call them customers. These are customers that or they are churn customers. So let's order by this. Let's run this first. So okay, let's order by this in descending order. The default is going to be ascending order if you specify or you do not. So we have more churn customers coming from month-to-month contract. Okay, but let's see how much that fits in. Let's give it context, right? Let's see the percentage of the total customers that are month to month. I mean, I can already tell it's large, but I can show. right? Let me move this to another line. I mean, I can do that. I can show like how large it is or what the percentage it is. Let me just say did this. Okay, so let's move to, so basically if I want to show a percentage, right, what I'll need to do is this count, which is 1655 divided by the total of everything I have here. So just Control C, Control V, right? So that should be divided by the sum of everything, right? Sum of this, right? But I want to use a partition. What do I mean? I want it to sum up everything. So I'm going to include the over function. So just so that it's summing everything up, it's not partitioning. I'm just going to use over. I don't want it to even partition by each contract. It's just going to partition by the total amount, right? So this, if I run this should be called what? This should be called like percentage, right? Let's run that. Let's see what we get if you run this. Because it is not contained neither an agreed or the group by. Yes, you see what we get because I highlighted just specific aspects to run. I didn't run everything. Let me just rerun that. Okay. So this is actually just counting this by this, which I'm trying to get a percentage, right? This divided by, multiplied by this, multiplied by 100%. I think I get what it's doing. If this is this divided by, it should be like 0. Okay, so we're meant to also multiply by 100. Obviously, I want it in percentage. I want to see like what percentage I have. So I should be multiplying that by 100. Let me just execute this. Yes, and now we're getting something to work with. We're getting 88%, 8%, 2%. But why is that not adding up to why is that not adding up to what would you call that, 100%? Because if you add this up, this is giving us a 98. Could it be our numerical data type playing a factor here? Because if you use, this is meant to add up to 100%. That's something we need to take a look at.
I
But
think
we
it's at
can
the
tell
point
from
of
this. You're going to say something? Go on.
I think it's at the point where you multiplied 100. I think it's supposed to come. You're supposed to close the bracket at.
I really do not, but we can try
multiplying.
that. We can try that. I know it's, we can try that. Let's put that in. I can't put that in yet, but we could do this. This, right? Then this. Because that's what I was thinking about. I think it should come in here. I think it has to do with me for one. I think it has to do with the data type. That's why I feel for one. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to get distinct contracts. So let's do select things. I know it's month to month. I don't feel like there's anything missing there. I think there is an aggregation or something going on. Contribution contract from this. And run that. So yeah, we don't have any like there's no anything that's affecting that. So we can let me just see. I'm not going to be stuck here when there are things you could do. I think it was because if you notice, I chose what's this? This is count or customer, but that shouldn't affect. That should not affect. Let's see. Okay. Let's
Did
see
you
what we
try
can
removing
do.
the?
Try removing
Maybe,
what? I can hear you.
okay,
I can hear
maybe you
you.
should try removing the over. That's You should remove the over first and try it if it's going to work.
Okay. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
Okay. So the over is meant to handle that because I know
I mean,
I've
I'm
run
talking
this
about
before.
like
Okay,
multiplying
you're
the
saying what?
100, multiplying 100, like
Mm-hmm.
remove the over and then multiply 100.
Yeah.
Not, yeah, remove the 100, yeah.
Okay. That. But do you know that this is actually dividing this? If you're multiplying the 100 here, this is after the. Okay.
I think the brackets there are just so much.
No, it's not the bracket that's problem though. It's not the bracket that's problem though. This is summing up everything in this count. This is the first
Okay.
bracket here for count. This is the other bracket here for sum. Let me remove this one. This is the other bracket here. So count of everything and then you're summing that as well.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like the over is not the problem. It's not that. I already know. I feel that. But we're just going to move. But this needs to be fixed. When I share the queries, it will be fixed. When I share the queries, it will be fixed. So let's move to at least we can see that most of our churners are on month-to-month contracts, right? That's certain for sure now. What I want to look at is okay, what let's try to see. What else can we see? What else can we see? Let's see if they have premium tech support or not. Premium tech support. Let's see premium tech support. Premium tech support. From which table? From this table. let's end this with a semicolon. Let's move to the next level. Right. Okay. So what we can do is we want to get the number of persons, right? So we can use a count as well. Same thing applies, but I just want to see how this looks like for like the churners. I want to see like, okay, what's happening? What does it seem like it's happening with regards to churn? I want to see what they are on. Premium text support is invalid in the select list because it's not used. It is contained in an aggregate, so it needs to be in the group by. Yes. So we just need to include that in the group by, and that should work. So we can get this. I want to see if this is going to play a factor here as well. So let me just count that. No need. Let me just try and see if we get a percentage for this one. If it makes sense. Let's see. That should be 22. And it seems like there's still some rounding up or something going on. Okay. We see what's happening. This is 16 plus 6. That should give you a 22. 22 will give you a 99 point. It's the decimal point that's at play here. So now, how can we undo this instead of just having this look like this? What can we do? Let's round that to one decimal place. So I'm just going to round this to one decimal place. So I think I should format this better so you can understand because of the amount of brackets. So let me just execute this. Okay. So this now would work if you add it up, right? Because the 0.4 plus 0.6 would give us a 1, which will add up to this to give us 100%. So that's the same logic that I think applied here that we were trying to figure out. So let's just put 0.0 and run that. Okay, round that up as well. Round that up to a one decimal place or one, whatever. Let's just round that up. Yeah, so this would work. Yeah, so that is it. So let's look at this now. So basically what I'm doing is I'm getting let me run this one first. Let's stick to this. I'm trying to get if they are, okay, let's go to our data dictionary. What does premium tech support mean? Premium tech support over here. This indicates if the customer subscribes to additional technical support plan from the company. Okay, this is not subscribed. Okay, support plan. So this is telling us that people that really do not have support plan from the company are more likely to churn based on this percentage, 77.4%, right? So let me just give that this was work contract at Shona's on premium tech support. That should be the Shona's or the customers should have access to premium tech support. So what I'm trying to do is I'm laying down things that we could use to notice, like things that we could use to see a customer, like what is that similarities are we seeing in customers that churn? We're seeing them that they have month-to-month contract, they do not have access to premium tech support. And so if we can identify such things like that, we can use that to kind of check our customers now and target them. Oh, this customer doesn't have this customer is on this contract. We need to try to find a way to keep our customers, especially these ones that are month to month, because they are at risk of churning. So we could kind of like focus on that. So I'm just looking for things, right, that it seems to that people that are churning have like issues with. So we've identified like two now that seems to be something we want to look at. So we could want to look at the what did we call that? What did we call that? I think it was called internet type, right? Because I think this internet type has different, like maybe speed. So we want to look at which internet type they are on. So it will be a similar query, right? Just to see that first. So let me just, so for the sake of time, because we still have to go, we still have some questions to get to. So that's why I'm just copying and pasting this, and we'll just change this to internet type. I think that's internet type. Internet type or internet service. Internet type. So let's just change that to internet type and replace that. So we have more time to cover all that things. So once we run this, we see that fiber optics seems to have more percentages of, like about 66% of our customers that leave are using fiber optic. And then about 16.4% are using DSL. Okay. Okay, we have information on this, right? Let's see what we can do with, let's see what we can do with this information. So we've looked at let's see, we've looked at this, we looked at that. Should we look at, let's just go back here, because I think there are things that we need to look at here. Okay, offers, right? The offers that they are on before they leave. So let's look at the marketing offer. So let's just look at the marketing offer real quick. I want to see if our churners are any marketing offer, or maybe a marketing offer could keep them, who knows. So let's just check offers, and yeah, that's offer. Let's group by our offers instead. So we're grouping by offers, and then we are executing this. Yikes. So this shows that about 56, like half of our customers that choose to churn either have no offer up here, or they're on offer E. Let's look at that. We might want to look at that if we want to. Offers. The last marketing offer that the customer accepted. Okay. So if the customer is not accepting any of our marketing offers, they're already looking towards our doors. They're already looking towards working out our doors. Interesting. All right. So I think we've identified some vital things. So this shows us like, okay, maybe these are things we need to note. We need to note if they have access to tech support, if they have accepted any marketing offers, what internet type are they using, right? We need to know this. So let's go to our brief. Let's see what we have there. So we've identified some reasons for customers churning, right? We've checked and we saw competitors, right? And we saw attitude of the support, right? And amongst the host of other reasons, right? But it seems like competitors and attitude of the support had like the weighing factors in everything. But So these competitors are providing them with better services, like are they providing them with better premium tech support, better internet service and internet type. So let's look at this. Let's see the most important thing here first. Let's see, is the company losing high value customers? Now, this is where you start to think of, well, what do you even categorize as high value customers for your company? For me, when I think of every company, I think they want to cut down costs, they want to increase revenue. High value customers are customers that is helping a company increase revenue. And we look at it you can look at it in total revenue or monthly revenue, but you want to look at it in monthly revenue because the total could be adding some information, but we want to look at it monthly revenue, right? We have monthly revenue in our data. So we've identified that high value customers are customers that actually, generate revenue for us, right? But we need to still figure out what makes them high value. What makes you as a customer and another customer high value? When we think of things like the movies that we watch, we see where we say this person spends, like where you cater to VIPs because they spend more in your company. So you probably need to have like a percentile, right? If a person is within this percentile, like 90% percentile, 80% percentile, they are VVIPs or something like that. But we could keep it convenient, or we could ask our clients that, okay, do you want to go with like 50 percentile? 50 percentile is like good for high value customers, right? So we'll keep that in mind, right? Now, if we can identify 50% percentile are high value customers, right? We want to see if those customers actually, if majority of our churners coming from there, right? And also want to see if, okay, so we're losing revenue from like these customers, right? How can we retain them, right? So first off, we want to is a company losing high value customers? So first off, we're trying to help this company now. Customers have left already, people have churned. But can we identify high value customers that will churn so that we can retain them before they leave the company? So that's what we're going to now. That's what we're now going to try to do. Since we've explored the data, we've kind of understood certain things within the data set. So if we can identify some high value customers and we can define what we term risk, we can define what we term risk, right? This customer is at risk of leaving. This customer is not so much at risk, but this customer is really, we have tendency that the customer will stay or something. So the customer is going to leave, how can we retain them? So enough of all the talking. Let's try to go to SQL to, okay, is the company, how can we retain them? Okay, so let's try to find high value customers that are at risk of churning, basically. So let's try to find high value customers at risk of churning. Because if we know they're at risk of churning, we could be like, oh, these people, we need to start treating them specially. We need to start saying, okay, how can we need to start crafting our marketing campaigns rather with them in mind. So when we think about this now, you need to now think, okay, what do you classify as what's that word? As high value customer, right? And based on what I've said so far, we're looking at revenue, we're looking at cost, we're looking at revenue, basically. So we've decided that we're working with what percentile, or if we have a customer that falls within the range of, like, it's almost like grade, you have 0 to 100. When people are in 70, you're like, okay, that's fine. 52 is also fine, right? So we're working with 50 for now. So what I want to do is I want to get customers, right? So let me just say select from where, from our table. I want to try to get the customers that have that have like that purchase that falls within basically the percentile mark of 50%, meaning like within the range of the monthly charges spread across different customers, this customer is fairly doing well, basically. So let's see how we could do that. So we need to get that first, and then we need to also, okay, so that's just one part. That's just one part of it. So if we get these customers now that are high value customers, right? We also need to also assign them with a risk, right? We need to assign them with, is this customer at risk of churning, right? So how do we know a customer is at risk of churning? We would look at what we've uncovered before. Meaning, we'll look at if the customer satisfies if it satisfies like three of all these conditions, then it's going to look like a high-risk customer in the sense that, okay, this customer decided not to take any offer. This customer decided, this customer has no access to premium tech support that can help sort issues. This customer is using an internet type that basically more customers have turned from, so it's likely that this customer is at risk. So first off, let's get our high value customer, right? So we're going to be using the percentile cons to get the percentile of we just need to feed it one argument, which is because we're using 50% here, right? So that'll be 0.5. So within a group by, right? Within a group of what are we using? Are we using the total charge or monthly charges? Monthly charge. Yeah. Okay, let's within this group, that's what, okay. Let's make sure it picks everything up. So we select this. Let's just call that what should we call it? I'm a customer. Or this is in within 50%. So that's kind of like, okay, let's just say median monthly charge. Typing. Right. So if it's within this group and you order by this, mm -mm. The median monthly charge, this is 70. Okay, so that's what we're going to use as our median monthly charge. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I get a monthly charge of 70. So we've identified the median monthly charge. Any customer that falls within that range or higher than that range will be our high value customers. Okay. So let's move on to identify something else, which is our risk, right? I want us to look at that. Should we look at risk first? Yeah, let's look at risk. I want us to develop a logic around that, what we term to be risk. Let me just note down what we've done. We've looked at offers, we've looked at what have we looked at? premium tech support. Have we looked at again? We looked at contracts where we talked about month to month. What else have we looked at? We've looked at what else? What else? I think internet type. We've looked at internet type. So this is our criteria that I want us to kind of use to not just these criteria, but the criteria that were ranked when we got our results, right? For this offer, it was no offer. For premium tech support, it was no premium tech support. So those are what I want us to use, right? So I want to assign, so let's say somebody has no offer. Let me give that 1, right? Premium tech support, no premium tech support at all, 1. Contracts, month-to-month contract, that's 1. Internet type is using, what was that internet type? Was it fiber optic or DSL? That was like the top one. But let's say it has that top for Churn customers, we give that 1. So the risk factor of this is basically 1 + 1 + 1 + 1, which is 4, which means that customer is going to be classified as what? High risk. That's what I'm trying to, that's the logic I'm trying to craft around it. But if it is just if it's like 4 or it is 3, we classify it as high risk, right? But if it's just 2, right? Yeah, 2, we can classify it as medium risk. Then we could let it be what do you call that? Low risk or no risk. Let's just say low risk. There's nothing like no risk. Your customer can still leave. So we have that logic in mind. So now what I mean is I want to kind of find a way that I will check if offer is equals to no offer. Then I want you to give me 1. Else 0. Then I'll add that result to it. Premium tech support, if it's equals to, if it's no, give me 1, else 0. Then I'll add that together. So that logic is going to, I think that's the logic we'll go for. So if I'm checking if something is something, then give me this and that. I probably need to use a case statement. Okay, so a case statement should be let's do a select. Okay, it's in there. I just want to break down everything little by little. Oh, why is select a case? Select a case statement. Let's go to the next line. Let's do a case. Enter. Tab. I'm just trying to make it a bit more readable. Should try to do that. So when, all right, let's pick the first logic. When offer, right? Okay, let me just include, what table am I getting this from? I'm just going to copy this. From this table, paste that. When offer, right? When offer is none, I want you to give me 1. Else give me 0. Then add that to the result you get for this. Right. But once you do that, we should use case when else, then we should have an end statement, of course. We should have an end statement. So next thing we want to check also is when premium tech support, right? When premium tech supports. When premium tech support is no, they don't have access to any technical support, I feel like it might be at risk. Let's give that a 1. Then 1, else give me a 0. Right. So plus again, we're going to add the 2 more conditions. When contracts, at this offer. Do I have offer over here? I have offer. Okay, let's continue. When case when plus, okay, just realize why it's giving me this. Case when Yeah, that is why. Plus case when. Yeah, this case statement, then another case statement, then we have to bring our contract. When contract is month to month, month to month, then is this month to month? Yeah, month to month it was. Then one, else zero. Okay, and then finally we're getting to the last condition. The rest are just basically repeating it. Case when internet type. Mm, mm, mm. Internet type is what? Internet type is, what was that internet type? Internet type, we're just going to run that query. We had fiber optic. So case when internet type is fiber optic, yeah. Then one, else zero, then end. So basically, if all of this is satisfied for the first case statement, okay. No wonder. Case when was this case when first this is to be satisfied. Yeah. This is supposed to be a contract, right? Supposed to be contracts. Yeah. Case when this is satisfied is what I should be doing. So there are different case statements now, like you can see. I just realized why I was just giving that. So there should be a case statement that would give me, I mean, you see it put together, because there's a case statement that should give me high risk. There should be a case statement that will give me medium risk and low risk. So case when this is satisfied, right? And when that is added up together, the value I get is, what did I say is my logic? I said I wanted something 3 or 4 to be high risk. So if it's greater than, right, or equals to 3, then I should have what? Let me just put this in on that line. I don't like it sitting in line, though I could edit this better. Then let's call that high risk for now. Yeah. So now we've had the first when statement. Let me just put this in. So now let's get the other statements when again. For when it's going to be, just copy this. For when it's going to be medium risk. So medium risk just needs to satisfy just two. So that should be the condition. So if it's equals to 2, that should be medium risk. Medium risk. Then finally, I just want else to be like, case when this, case when then this, case when then this, else give me what we call low risk. Then we're going to just end this as a new end as, let's end as, let me call it let's just call it customer risk or risk level. Let's call it risk level. Risk level. Risk level. Right. So now I'm going to be selecting this from this table, but I want to see everything I've done to see whether this logic is working out well. So what I'm going to do is in this statement, I'm going to put in the customer ID. I want to see if I'm customer ID. And then I'm going to pull in tab. Okay, just one tab. I'm going to pull in the offer and everything else. Control C, Control V. So let's just pull in all of that. Just all of this. We need to start taking questions, but I just want to, because this is like the everything. Okay, so that I can see the customers, each customers, and I can be able to check if, okay, this is actually doing this correctly. So it's going to give me risk level. So I should be able to run this. Okay. Oh, I also want to see, let's see. I also want to filter for customers that have not left already. So I should probably filter this because even if I'm looking at so we can see, okay, let me just check if this logic works. So none and yes, and 1 year and cable. So this one has just one option. So low risk. High risk should be 3 or 4. Satisfy 1, satisfies 2 and 3. That's why it's high risk. So the logic is working well. Now what I want to do is, since I want to identify customers that are at risk, right? Churn customers should not be here, right? Because we're trying to keep people that are with us to still stay with us. So let me just filter that, and let me also filter for high risk. So where customer status is what that churned. Oh, sorry, not churned rather. I'll just go back. I don't want churn here because I'm trying to create a list of customers that are at risk, right, of churning, and then I'll identify the high value customers, right, as well. So just step by step, not churned, and I want the risk level. I'm going to need to use a CTE to pull this risk level to be okay. I'm going to do that. Yeah. Let's run this syntax near the case statement. Did I not select something correctly? Yeah. So now we've reduced this from, oh God, this is obstructing this, right? Let me see. Sorry, no wonder. What's customer ID? I was wondering why I had 7,043 rows even when I've excluded shunt. Should be customer status. Customer status. Try to run that, and that should be execute that. Yes. So now we have 5.74 rows. Right. So we've removed customers that have churned already, so we can focus on the customers that are here right now. So we can attend to these are our customers that are at risk, right? But now we want to look at importantly, we want to look at high value customers basically. So let me just see if you guys understand the logic behind this to get our high risk customers first, and then we'll sort out high value customers. So we're going to take quick break for questions. Let me take a quick break for questions. So if you have any question, you can signify by raising your hand, and I'll meet you. Or you could type it in the chat box if you don't speak. Right. Okay. I think I can see Boloatife. Boloatife, you can unmute yourself, unmute your mic, and go ahead and ask your question.
All right, thank you so much. Sorry, I'm going to take the class back. So my question is actually on the first analysis. That's how many customers joined the company during the last quarter. So I noticed when we're creating, yes. So I noticed when we're creating the CTE, the common table expression, I noticed that we didn't put a from.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was going to ask why, because when I saw the date, I was going to ask why, because I was thinking we are going to put from, probably to get the dates from the table. I'm not sure. So
yeah. Okay. Right. So okay, to answer that question, that's a very good question actually. So let me just go there while we answer that. Let's go to that part of the query. So we're doing yes. Yeah. So he said in the city I did not include a from, right? So you're correct in that sense now, and that's why I said it depends on context now, right? So for me, the context I was using was I was fetching the date currently. Now there is another approach you could take the route, right? You could get the maximum date if you have that date within your data. So I felt limited in the sense that there was no date. There was basically no date in this. There was no date in our data. So I couldn't get like the maximum date, because if I was doing, okay, maximum date from a particular date column, I will be doing from my table, my telecom customer churn. But now what I'm trying to do is I'm imagining that this data set was brought to me, let's say it was brought to me within this month, right? And what I just need to do is, okay, what I need to do is to get my current date. So getting my current date, I'm treating it like, okay, this data set is something that is going to continuously, like this query is something that is going to continuously be used. So anytime it's being used, it's going to be getting that date and then getting the start of the last quarter based on that context. So even if this query is being used in a different time frame to get the customers that joined during the last quarter, it would work. So not to say it wouldn't work if you use the maximum date, or if you get the maximum date from that data, it would work. But I'm just working with what I have here. Because currently in this data, there was no date. We only have like the tenure in months in this data. So I don't know if that clarifies it for you, or if you have another question.
Yes, it did.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
All right. So any other questions? Any other questions? Questions? Thanks. You can always, like, as I say, you can always just drop it in the, what was I going to say? You can always just drop it in the chat box. Okay. Okay. Since there are no questions, we can continue, so we can wrap up quick. Right. All right. So now we've gotten our customers at risk. Now we want to get the high value customers. Let's go back to our context. We're trying to get the company losing high value customers. How can they retain them? So I'm trying to look at it from the aspect of what customers are at risk and what customers are high level. High value rather, right? So we could work instead of just discovering that this is why customers are churning this, that. What can we do now that we know? Is there anything we can do? So that's where I'm looking at it from that point, right? So we've gotten this. The next step would be, okay, let me just take a step back. We have decided to use a 50% percentile to get our customers. So let me just copy this here. Let me just see, I'm not done. And let me just go over here. Okay, so let's do let's store this result. Wait, what can I use? What can I use? Median monthly. Let's just use median monthly. Control Z, Control Z. Just trying to use a CTE to store this result of the monthly charge. So initially, I'll show you what we got. We got like about 70 as our monthly charge. So what can we do now that we have this? We had 70, okay. How do I identify someone as a high value customer? So I only use monthly charge. What about how long they have stayed in the company? Is there anything else? They have tenure in months. Yes, referrals. Personally, if I have a business and anybody is referring, if you refer, I'll give you discounts. So that could be a plus, right? That should definitely be a plus for a high value customer. That should be included. We should look at referrals. We should look at how long they've stayed. And we've said we're looking at monthly charges. Is there any other thing? I don't think so. What else? What else can we use to classify a customer as high value? I think we can work with this one. Everything depends, right? So let me just do the select from our table. So we're using let me state it out here. We're using referrals. We're using monthly charges. We're using, I said when they refer tenure, how long they stayed with us. Tenure in months. So for me, this ranks very high for me. This ranks very high for me, and this as well, because you don't refer a brand to people that you will not continue patronizing for, at least to a certain extent. You don't refer a brand that you don't trust. So like these two are my high value customers. Like at least these two must be satisfied for you to be high value. If this one is not, if the tenure in months, okay. So what metric should I use first? If referrals is greater than 0, I'll consider that to be high value customer. It doesn't matter how many referrals. If the monthly charge is greater than that charge I've calculated here now, which is the median monthly charge, or within the 50th percentile, right? I'll consider that as a high value customer. If the tenure in months is greater than, should I use 6 months, 9 months, 12 months? It all depends on what your clients will consider high value customer for them. But I'll just stick with 9 months. If you stay with me for 9 months, you might be more likely to stay with me for 3 other months, completely for a year. So if at least this 2 is covered, this is going to be what I'll classify as a high value customer. Right. If the 3 is satisfied, that's fine, it's still high value customer. But if just 1 is satisfied, I'll just call it, let's just give it medium, right? Medium. So let's get right into it. From which table? From this table. So let's select what are we going to select first? I will select first. Okay. So I'm going to use a case function as usual. Case statements are underrated. They always come in handy. Like anything, case statements, case values. Anyways, back to it. We're talking about how to group customers as high value. Why not? Okay. So case when the referrals, right? What's it called here? Referrals. Okay. Case when the number of referrals is greater than 0, then no. Case when it's greater than 0, right? And this one is also satisfied. Monthly charges. What monthly charges? Monthly charges. Monthly charges. Greater than or equals to the median monthly charge. Median monthly charge, country C, country V, right? Let's just paste that so we can see everything at once. Let me just move this. Case when this is this and this is greater than this, right? And tenure in months is also let's say greater than 9. Monthly charge. Monthly. That does not affect monthly. Monthly. And tenure in months is case when this and this and this are satisfied. We classify this as what? As high value customers. Then let's call this high value. Okay. What about when this is when one of these conditions is satisfied, right? Which one should I use? Try to think of how it would work. When this and this satisfied must be I, then at least one of these should be satisfied, basically. All right, for it to be medium value. Okay. Let me pick a monthly charge. Or actually, I want to pick tenure in months because If you stayed here long enough, I want to give that case when 20 months is greater than 9. Yeah. Yeah, 20 months greater than 9. Then I want to give that, what am I typing? 20 months makes sense so that. Then I want to give that a medium value. I'm running out of time. Else, uh, let's just see. I don't want to low value. I don't think I can low value customers. All customers are valuable. But let's end that as if ICT will be good. I'll be able to filter that if I choose this and this and this. Anyways, it will still work. Should still work. Customer value. So this is giving me the customer. This should give me. Let me include something. So I want to include. I can do the same thing I did there, right? To see if the logic is working exactly as I need to do. Customer ID, comma. About the column name, medium monthly charge, because I'm using this from here. Okay. That's supposed to work. Column name, medium monthly charge, medium monthly charge. And this. Okay, I'm going to try something now. Let's test that out. First of all, this should be 1 if I don't know if this would work. Okay. You don't more than one value. I know that was like it's returning, yeah. Because this returns okay if I do a what can I do? I'm writing some crazy ass query right now. I should I literally just literally just made the query do what I wanted it to do for me. Cause that's okay. Let me just try to like explain what I've done, or let me put it so we can see if it's actually even doing what it's meant to do. Crazy. Let me put this monthly charge and tenure in months. I think it was 3 conditions I used. So execute this and I should get this. Monthly charge 70. Okay. So let's try to break this down from where we worked with the high value customers, right? Or customer value. Now, I've said I want to use the condition that if number of referrals is greater than 0 and the monthly charge is greater than the median monthly charge and tenure in months is greater than 9, that is the customer spent at least 9 months with us, I want to classify this as high value customer. Then a medium value customer will be a customer that has just stay with us for 9 months. I rate that very highly. And then any other condition just classify as low value for now. So how did I exactly, I think you would understand that this is using just when number of referrals greater than 0, and this, it boils down to this part where we got the median monthly charge, right? So first off, let's break it down. This is going to search for the 50th percentile, right? Within that group, within this other monthly charge group, is going to find the 50th percentile of monthly charges, like the mid map, right? This over is a partition, basically getting it to we're not partitioning by a particular section, we're not partitioning by category or anything. We're just telling you to consider all. Now, what I've done here is to select top one, because this result, if I run this separately, is going to give more than one result and it will not work. I'm trying to say something is greater than something. You cannot compare one thing with many things. So a quick fix that I've done was just to select top one, because when I ran this, I would get every row 70, 70, 70, 70. Like I was getting the average, sorry, the median rather, to be 70 in every row. So if I just pick one, that's fine. So all I did is select top one. So basically, all of these results in this bracket will give me the median monthly charge, and I'm comparing that with the monthly charge. If the monthly charge is greater than or equals to that median monthly charge, that is part of my criteria for a high value customer. So that means I do not necessarily need this city anymore. Though a city would have worked fine. I just needed to figure out how to tweak it. But Ctrl Z, what am I pressing? I do not necessarily need the city again. Ctrl S. And run that again. Yeah. So now what I want to do is to check if this logic actually works, right? So let's look at the high value customers now, right? So let me just filter for where. Let's see. But it would have been nice if I had this. I could use this as a city. Wait. Okay. So now I just want to try to like bring these two queries together, right? So let's see what I can do here. Okay. So let me just copy this part to bring in my low risk level of a customer, right? I think we're almost running out of time, so I need to wrap up quick. Let me I just want to be able to show you can see customers that high level and high value and they're at risk. So you could filter that down. Let me just run this quick, then I'll explain. Okay. So you could filter this down to just show you your high value customers. You can use a city and then so you can able to select the column, right? And just filter for where customer value is high value and the risk level is high risk. You could do that and you could generate a list of customer IDs that could be used in a marketing campaign to track down and to follow down, okay, these are the people we need to follow up on. Are we messaging them to consider taking up promotional offers? Are we making sure that our technical support team are there to support these people? Is there anything we can do to capture them? Can we give them discounts? So this is what can help us stop these customers from actually leaving. So this was like the main point for me that I was trying to get at, which is the part of identify a specific group set of customers that you should be really looking towards be at risk of leaving your company. So you might want to target your marketing campaign to them separately or tailor your marketing campaign to them. So what I'm saying is with this query, you could filter this down so you could just deal with high value and high risk, like just filter for high value and high risk. So you could just see only the customers for that. Right. So what can I we've taken up too much time now, so I'll just ask if anybody has questions and we'll call it a day. But the resources, which are all the queries, are going to be sent to the data set, the data dictionary, and this SQL script. So you can write your own queries and then you can compare. You know, the thing with SQL also, you can even try it. You could be able to write you could use another method. You could have another approach that would work. That's why they say data analysis is also like a context thing. It depends, right? So with that, I want to ask if anybody has a do you have a question? If you have a question, you can raise up your hand or so you could unmute your mic and speak. Okay.
Sorry, please, how did you get the data set into Management Studio? I
Okay.
came in late.
So no problem. That's fine. Is it Loye?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so just all I did was, so I said there are different ways, like I think in my previous class, I handled restoring a database or something. So there are different ways of getting data into SQL Server to work with, like to practice. But this data set now came as a CSV file. Basically, I just downloaded it from Maven. So, you know, Maven Analytics. So they have like a data set over there. So I just downloaded it. So very first thing I did was I created a new database, which is this Maven Telecom. So all I need to do is right click new database. A pop-up window will come up and I'll just type in the name of the database. Right. So I created Maven Telecoms now. How do I bring my data sets into that database? How do I bring this into this? Okay. So I just right click on the data set and say where's that task and then import data. So that's what I did. I said import data. I went to the next step. You see your data source. You right click, you have to select flat file source because this is for CSV. Next, okay, sorry, you browse to the location rather. Browse to the location in your system where your file is in and input that in. I don't know if I'm moving a bit too fast, but anyway, just browse to that location, click on open, move to the next step. Next step is just to just look at your data, everything looks fine, then move to the next. Then what is your destination? This was the step I was trying to highlight on. You pick this DB provider for SQL Server, select this last one as your provider, and then you just click next. Basically, all you need to do is see if you want to tweak the data set. So after that, you'll be able to just finish that. I don't think I put in something there. Next, okay. Sorry, I was selecting the wrong. This, nope. The last one, select that and just next. But mine, because I already have that database, so probably might bring up an issue for this. So what I was saying is once you come to this step now, you could edit your mappings. What do I mean by editing your mappings? You could change the data type it's detecting to whatever you want it to be, and then you can just do next, and then finally you could finish. There's nothing much again. So once you have that in, you can now make sure that you're in that database. As you can see here, I'm currently in Maven's Telecom, right? So I'm using that database. So anytime you run your query and it seems like you're not fetching anything, just check here. Are you actually using the database, right? Or are you in another one? Just switch that. So I think that covers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's close this. All right. Any more questions we can take? Oh, Marcus. I think Marcus hands up. You can speak. You can unmute your mic.
Thank you. I want to ask if we have to ask
Go on, I'm listening.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So I was going to ask if you're going to send the data set, but you already stated that we can download it online.
Oh,
Second question
okay.
is, are we going to get the recordings of this section?
Yes, I would send that to via email. So while I send the data set, you get the link to the recording and the SQL script as well. Yeah, SQL file. So you get those.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Emmanuel, you can unmute your mic and ask your question.
All right. Thanks, Chinonso, for this session. So I was trying to understand the last query you wrote. That's the
Okay.
really long one.
Yes.
For the percentile, the median, trying to
Yes.
get the high value customer. So I'm
Yes.
trying to understand. Pardon me if I may ask.
Yeah.
Is it really when you're talking about the high value customers and you use
Yeah.
the median to like the
Yeah.
ones that are higher than that median, shouldn't
Yes.
it be like the ones that are like the top 25%, like the top quartile or something? Because I'm
Yeah.
trying to understand
You
if that's actually the best.
you
But yeah,
okay, sorry, I was won't continue short. Sorry about that. But you're
if
right. You're right, definitely.
if you could if you could also go back to the script
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if we have enough time, but yeah, so let's just look at it one more time because I was trying to because I did something similar in the project I'm working on and I'm
Okay.
just trying to know if I actually did the right thing. So
So what I'm saying is in regards to the context you said, right? I think what I got from it, you
yeah,
said you felt like it's 20, like maybe top 20. Sorry, can you come again, please?
yeah. So because you were trying to categorize them based on the high value. I'm just speaking
Yes.
to the just the high value parts now, and I know you did
Mm-hmm.
the ones that are greater than the
Yeah.
median, which is the 0.5.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
so I'm wondering, shouldn't it be like 0.75? That's the top quartile,
Yes.
basically, to
Yeah.
get those high value ones, and then the middle ones
So
lie between the,
yeah.
yeah.
So you're right. It's a context thing, right? It's a context thing. For a business, the high value customers could be customers that fall within that range. It's just sometimes like when we do stuff that we do like, okay, average or like that. So it could be that it's almost like, okay, let me just bring it to the concept of somebody can say 70 to 100. Though this one doesn't really apply. 70 to 100 is like brilliant student A. Another person could change it to be 80 to 100 or 75 to 100, right? To be their own like criteria for ranking people as high achievers or whatever that is. So what I'm saying here is if you choose to go the route of 0.75, nobody is going to stop you or something. You just need to communicate that clearly. Well, once you're communicating your insights, okay, based on what I've done so far, we've decided to categorize high value customers as customers that fall within the 50th percentile and higher than that. So if categorizing them as this and taking this metric using the tenure amount and this, we've decided that these are the customers that you need to probably tailor your marketing campaign to. Or based on my 75 percentile mark, which I think is good to categorize customers high value, I've decided to do this. So that's why in data analytics, sometimes they say explain your thought process. So if you want
Yeah.
to you work on this stuff and you want to write about it in an article, you could be like, I decided to use while I was thinking of what to categorize my customers as high value, I decided to use a 75 percentile because I believe um these are high value customers. So it's all contextual and it's all like, okay, it's basically also what your clients want in a way. So yeah, you're right with that.
Okay, I see. So anyway, thank you very much for the explanation. At least I understand that this is context based. It can be
Yes.
from what the business is looking at and what they
Yes.
classify as their maybe their benchmark for high value. And yeah, I understand. Thank you very much.
All right. All right, thank you. So, like I said earlier, I'll share every of the resources via mail. Probably tomorrow is Sunday, but you should get it by you should get it in your mail. Just keep a lookout on your mail. You'd get all the resources. Yeah. So thank you for joining. I think we've taken up more than 2 hours, way too much of your time, way too much of my time too. Have a lovely day, everyone, and thank you for joining this class. All right, we can exit the group. I'm just going to end it. Stop sharing first.